What's up, guys? So, I think we all have the same question when we're out in the wild and we come across loose packs. And that question is, are these packs weighable? Have these packs been weighed? And with Prismatic, there hasn't really been enough information out there for us to be able to make that determination. So, I wanted to throw a quick video together and weigh some of these cards and see what we see, and then you can take this information and do with it what you will. Shout out to Shiny Vert. I was watching his video, which kind of inspired me to create this video, and I felt like I had a decent pool of cards to be able to go through and weigh some of them and recreate some things, maybe a Demi God pack, possibly even a God pack. We'll see how this all goes and see if we can actually like find some cards that are the same weight as the SIRs to be able to recreate that. So we'll do some of that, and then remember, this scale is my scale. Your scale may be slightly, it may vary slightly. We're going to be dealing with hundredths of a gram and thousandths of a gram on this particular scale. I just happened to run out and grab this one after I watched Shiny Vert's video, and we're going to calibrate this real quick and then get going. So the first thing that I figure we'll weigh, we'll do the Glaceon and then some SIRs, and we'll move into the golds and just kind of go down the line there. So we're calibrated up. We'll start with Glaceon and see what this one weighs. And the way that I kind of think about it is like, this is an SIR, so I figure it'll probably be the same weight as other SIRs. So 190 on Glaceon, and then we'll let our scale go back to 0. The way this scale works is basically this little arrow thing here is what dictates whether or not, whether it's zeroed out and it's ready to go again. So this Ogerpon Cornerstone Mask is 187, and then Dragapult 1.88, 1.9, pretty close to the same, and we're zeroed out. 1.87. We'll reweigh this one because that's kind of that's a whole 10th difference. Let's see what happens here. So 1.87. So these appear to vary. Like if we go back to this one, this should technically be 1.89 to 1.9. All right, so there is a difference in these, which I mean, like if you look at the artwork on them, that kind of explains it. There's gonna be more foil on some of them, and we'll just kind of weigh all these again just for the sake of consistency. 1.88. and Cornerstone Ogerpon. Oh, let me wait for that thing. This little arrow is the thing that tells me when I can set this down. 1.87. So between 1.87 and 1.9 is going to be our range on SIRs, and then we'll go into weighing the gold cards next. So let's start with Terapagos. And these, I would figure that these are going to weigh different amounts based on the texture. Like this is a very textured card. It's got a whole lot going on there. So that one was 1.94 versus like Pikachu. Let's wait for this thing to go back to 0. So 1.94 versus 1.885. So the golds weigh quite a bit. There's quite a bit of variation there. Like, oh, let's reweigh this one. It was what, 1.94, 1.94, 1.95. That's a big variation. So depending on which one you have in your pack could make a world of difference. Yeah, that's 6/10. So a lighter pack is going to have, like you could say, oh, a lighter pack is going to have, the more sought after card, which is Pikachu, but we don't know that. So, but luckily we have several of these here, and we'll wait for my scale to zero back out. Come on, there we go. And we'll do iron leaves. 1.92. So 1.92, 1.93. And then we've got an ogre pawn. And while that's weighing, actually I shouldn't touch the table. 1.93. I'll touch the keyboard after we're done weighing all these. And then another ogre pawn, which could vary. 1.93. 1.92, 1.93. So we know our range is going to be 1.88 to 1.94 when it comes to the golds. That's a pretty big range. I mean, that right there alone could offset the pack, depending on whether or not you have, say, a foil energy in it versus just a common energy. So let's slide into some Master Balls. Now these have different textures based on the picture. So we don't really know, you know, if Monkey Dory has more texture on it and he weighs more versus Spritzy. So 1.93, and then Spritzy's gonna weigh 1.9, we'll say 1.92. So it looks like there may be a little bit of variation there in the Master Balls as well. Zeroed out. Applin 1.93. So it's looking like these are going to be like 1.92 to 1.9. Ooh, Sneasel coming in heavy. 1.94. All right. Pupitar. 1.9. We're calling him 1.92. So let's do this last Applin. I'm thinking 1.92 to 1.94. And you know, this may be this variation may change on $1,000 scale. 1.92 to 1.94 versus like what I'm seeing here. All right. Oh, that was actually for Master Ball. Let's do full art trainers. Let's see what those weigh. All right, we're back to 0. Here's Ralph Port. 180, 190. Okay, so Atticus. Also 190. Another Atticus. And again, this is something to think about. You know, the texture of these, depending on the artwork, could change how much foil's on them. This right here is slightly below, so like 189. Okay, let's weigh some Pokeballs. So let's start with Seaking. Seaking coming in at 1.93. And then there's Applin coming in at 1.92515. So we'll call him 192. Dundun Sparse 192 as well. Noctowl, which feels like a thicker card, coming in at 195. That's heavy. Freeway you. That is wild. So 192 to 195 is a big variation. Like, I'm gonna reweigh this. I mean, I can understand it because, like, look at the different pictures on these. 192 and a half, 191 and a half, 192, and Noctowl 195 and a half. We're gonna call it 195. So Pokeballs are 192 to 195. And here's the crazy thing. We haven't even weighed. We haven't weighed any trainers. Let's do these trainers. Briar is 192 and a half. The other Briar is 190, and so this will split the difference. We'll call them 193. And we'll look at this one. Also 193. Okay, so that's within the range of what we've seen on the other Pokeballs. So Pokeballs can vary, and like just for the sake of, we'll go back, we'll reweigh this knockout. 195 and a half. And the other one that was light was this guy. He should be like close to 192. So yeah, there's a variation. There's a pretty big variation on Pokeballs. All right, let's do some A specs and see what those weigh. So we're gonna start with Sparkling Crystal. My first observation about this is that the texture is different for the picture. 193. All right. Scoop Up Cyclone, different texture. 193 on the first one. 190. Yeah, 190. All right, let's do a treasure tracker. And then 191 on the treasure tracker. So we got another treasure tracker here. Let's do it. And it is also 190, 191. So like the A specs, I'll say that on average are like, we'll say that we'll give them a range of 191 to 193. All right, we're gonna start weighing the hollows. So the hollows, starting with Monkey Dory, is 1.9. Groudon, 1.89. About the same as Monkey Dory. Umbreon, 1.89. 1.9. So about 1.89 to 1.9 is what we're seeing consistently. 1.89. We're rounding that up. Another Munkidori. 1.9. All right, let's weigh the hollow energies. So starting with this one looks like it's 1.94. And then this one, we're waiting on our symbol. And then this one is 1.93. And this one is going to be 1.93 and a half. So 1.93 to 1.4 is pretty much what we're seeing for the hollow energies. And our symbol. Yep. Okay. So we'll say 1.93 to 1.94. All right, we're going to start weighing the reverse hollows now. So let's do this one, which is 1.87. We'll do this one, which should probably be like right around the same. 1.88 and a half. I mean, like the texture of these are relatively the same. The difference on like the evolutions, you know, you're missing a little bit of texture in the corner. 1.88. But I mean, like, is that enough? Does that weigh 100th of a gram? I don't know. So we're gonna say like 1.88 to 1.89 on these. All right, and then the outlier here is gonna be like this Great Tusk. 1.88 to 1.89, or we'll just go 1.9. This one is a completely different texture. So if I put this on here, that card is way heavier. Like that card is way heavier than just a common reverse holo. And I'll have to, I can't honestly remember, like, are these just considered reverses, or is it like these are, you know, they're ancients, or, and you know, there's something different. So like I'll say reverse holos are going to be like 1.88 to 1.9 based on our samples. And then this, if this is included in there, then it changes it drastically to like 1.94. Okay, let's do some commons. So this is a common 1.785. All right, then we'll do this one, 1.775. So like we're in the realm of 1.78. 1.78. And we'll do one more. I mean, like, commons, this seems to be pretty consistent. 1.785. So 1.78 on the commons. All right, let's do energies real quick. Energy is 1.74. And this one is going to be 1.74. 1.74. All right. So energy is like 1.74. All right, we're gonna do some code cards. Let's see what those weigh. Let's wait for our scale to go to 0 magically. All right, we're gonna do code cards. Feel free to keep these. I don't use them. 119 to 120 on the first one. Second one, wait for our symbol. This one is considerably heavier, which I've heard that they do make code cards different sizes, but I don't know. I mean, like, I've honestly, this is the first time I've ever sat here and weighed code card. And this scale, you know, this scale is cheap. So 120, make of it what you will. Let's do this one and give it a second. I feel like this is gonna, yeah, there it goes. Like, I feel like if you let it, give it a moment to adjust. So it seems like these are gonna be about 120. I'll do one more. Yeah, okay, so from what I'm seeing, you know, code cards are pretty much 120. All right, we're gonna weigh the packs real quick. The empty pack wrappers, the art is different on them, but it should actually make a difference, you know. So 0.87 for this one, and then the next one weighs 0.86 for this one as well. And last but not least, we're gonna weigh this one, which is 0.85. I mean, it's 0.85, 0.86. So we'll put it down as 0.85 to 0.86. Okay, so we've compiled the data. Now we need to simulate a few packs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Reverse, holo, energy, code card. Okay, so that's gonna be, this right here is gonna be our regular pack. And then let's do let me set this like right here so we know where it's at. And then let's simulate a Demi God pack with this wrapper. So what a Demi God pack is typically going to be is going to be a SIR, an Evolution SIR, and then 2 SIRs, which we'll do these right here. So, and then if I'm not mistaken, I want to say the Demi God packs, from what I've seen, typically have a foil energy in them. So this right here is going to be our base for the Demi God, and then like we'll see if we can simulate a God pack, because I feel like we have the weights to do it. So if an SIR is anywhere between 1.87 and 1.9, theoretically we could throw full art trainers in in there to make a full god pack. So, or reverse hollows. I mean, like between, so we have Evo Evolution SIRs, full art trainers. Hollows are a little bit on the heavier side, and reverse hollows theoretically could simulate a full god pack. So let's do this, and then I'll put 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 commons, and then we have these right here, which typically, from what I've seen, the evolution is actually in the front. This right here should be a Demi God pack in theory if we put them all in here. So that's our Demi God pack. Now, here's kind of the thing. I'm gonna have to reuse that one. I'm gonna have to reuse this one to recreate the God pack. But let's also throw like something. So there's other things out there too that are considered like, they call them, from what I've seen, people call them semi-demis. So let's use this real heavy, this guy. Let's use one of these, and we'll do like an EX, which I did not weigh the EXs. Let me weigh an EX real quick, just for the sake of. So an EX 1.94. They're kind of heavy. These are actually kind of heavy. 1.93. We'll do one more. 1.93. So let me actually add that to the list real quick. All right, so we got EX added. So we're gonna do a semi-demi, and they'll probably have a foil, a hollow energy, and then I need to grab some more commons. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 commons, and then we'll put these here, and we're gonna slide this into this wrapper. All right, so we've got our packs out. This right here is the regular pack, semi-demi pack, and this right here is the Demi God simulation pack. So we're gonna start with the regular pack right here. There's no hits in this thing. All right, and I think we put a regular energy in it. So 2.25 on this scale, 2.25 on that scale. So let's see what happens if I take the regular energy out and we put in a hollow energy. All right, so we're gonna put this hollow energy in, and then we're gonna reweigh this pack. So just with the hollow energy, 22.7 versus 22 this one thinks it's 22.8. So it went up like 2 to 3 tenths just based on that. All right, I forgot my code card. So now we've got this pack straightened out. All right, so this is the semi-demi pack, which, I mean, like, I think it should be heavy. Based on a gold, the heaviest of the golds, an ace spec and a hollow energy, like, this should be a pretty heavy pack. 22.7 on this one, and 22.8 on this one, which you can't really tell. If I'm not mistaken, this should still be set up. You can't tell that there are hits in this one versus this one based on that information alone. I mean, like, this right here has no hits in it. This one right here does have hits in it. So let's set these to the side. Actually, let's do this. Let's take this semi-demi and we'll replace just the energy out of this one. Okay, so now we don't have a hollow energy in it, which a semi-demi I don't think necessarily always has to have a hollow energy. Slide these in here and we'll weigh this guy. Now we're back down into like the same territory as no hits. Yeah, 22.5. Now check this out though. So say I took this out. Say I take the heaviest gold out. right here and put in the light one, which is Pikachu. If I can get to it easily. Come here, Pikachu. Alright. Now he's in here. And I hope I don't damage any of my cards with this experiment, but I mean, you know, it's all for the name, in the name of science, right? It's all in the name of science. Alright, so now we have Pikachu in there. How much does that change it? The pack is slightly lighter. I mean, the pack is slightly lighter. It's like, so, you know, you can make your own determinations about that. Is this a scenario where lighter packs are going to have more hits? I mean, like, you don't have to have an A spec or an EX in here to have a gold. You know, you have triple hitters, you have sometimes you have double hitters, sometimes you have no hitters. But let's put a hollow right here in, and then we'll put in a master ball. All right, and then we put these guys back in here. Slide this back in the foil. Wait for that to 0. 22.5. 22.5. So that, I feel like that in itself, you know, are the packs weighable? Are the cards weighable? Yeah, the cards are weighable. If you weigh the individual cards, you're going to get different weights. But whenever you combine all these factors together, that, you know, you may have a full art trainer in there, or you may have a gold in there, or you may have an SIR. You may have nothing in there. There's no way for you to know if there's like 2 hits or 3 hits, and the variation of the weights of the cards. I just don't feel like there's enough information for somebody to actually be able to go, yeah, this pack has a hit. So let's talk about the Demi God pack. Let's weigh this one real quick, and then from there let's see if we can simulate one. Okay, so our Demi God pack weighs 22.6, which we've seen higher numbers than that. That doesn't really tell us anything. 22.7, it just tells us that it's a heavier pack. All right. So let's say that we'll use, let's pull these out. Okay, and then what we know about the God pack that we've seen so far is that it's going to be all SIR evolutions, but we also know that the SIRs are going to weigh somewhere in this range, and we also know that reverse hollows are in this range. We're going to go code card, and from what I've seen, they have a hollow energy in them, and then we've got Glaceon along with we're going to do Ogerpon, Dragapult. So we need 5 more cards first. This would be Eevee in all of the evolutions, and then in the front we need a Master Ball because it always has a Master Ball in the front. Okay, so we'll use Applin. All right, so Master Ball in the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards, hollow energy, and a code card. All right, make sure we see all that. And we're basing this on the reverses are basically in the same range as the SIRs, along with which, like, theoretically, the evolution SIRs are going to be somewhere in this range. There's no reason for them not to be. So we would take all these cards. I'm going to turn on our scales. I'm going to slide them in a pack. And we're going to pretend that this is a God pack, okay? So what would it actually weigh? 23.5. This is what I had kind of theorized when we were pulling the other night. That it would be a pretty heavy pack. And that makes sense when you think about it. When you think about that common cards only weigh this much, and you have a whole pack of SIRs, or Evolution SIRs, that pack is naturally going to be more heavy. So if there's any takeaway from this, in my opinion, can you weigh a God pack? Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a given. Can you weigh a demigod pack? No, I do not think you can weigh a demigod pack. I mean, like, you can, but I don't think you can tell it's a demigod pack. And I think that goes for any of the other hits. There's too many variations for you to be able to tell that. And the fact is, with the God packs, they're so few and far between, like the odds on you actually getting to weigh one before you open it is like kind of insane. And most people, when they open them, the last thing they think about is, hey, I'm gonna go weigh this pack. So as far as in my opinion, it's not really a big deal. If you want to, if people want to take that as that this set is weighable, then there's, you know, then I guess that they're right on, they're somewhat right, because you could technically weigh that particular pack. But the rest of them, I don't think you can really tell that there's going to be a hit in a pack just from the weight outside of that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it. I feel personally, I don't feel like I'm going to be scared to buy single packs that are loose out there. Mostly, I know that, you know, there's always the chance that somebody has hit something out of an ETB and then the rest of the packs are getting sold or something of that nature. All right, I appreciate you guys watching. If you want to support the channel, throw a like below and subscribe. I typically do card content, but on the side I periodically mess with this kind of stuff when it's freezing cold outside or when there's something exciting happening. And if you want to see how I got this Glaceon from a Rippa ship from PCA Gaming, check out this video right here, somewhere over here. And I appreciate it. Have a good night. Good luck on your pulls.